magic's happening.
All right.
It works.
I was still a little scared that it wasn't going to work.
I know. I was like, oh, yeah. Until it's proven, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to change my shirt. Give me 1 second.
It's fine.
Nobody's watching, so you can.
Well, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about Paperbacks from Hell stuff, horror books. Kind of, we jokingly decided, like, hey, this will be like a pregame show for Nick from Paperbacks from Hell, where he's going to talk about he's going to interview Errickson. Yes, I'm yelling like Chris is going to answer me. He's not. He just disappeared. So he's going to talk to him. We just figured we'd just kind of drum up some excitement about the whole thing. So we're going to like go through the book, I think, and show some stuff that we've got. I do not have a lot out of this book. I don't have very much. I have a little bit. Chris has probably got a decent hunk of it. So I've brought stuff that's relevant. We'll say it like that. We'll say relevant. So, yeah. So this is just kind of, you know, talking about books, showing off books, you know, some of them out of Paperbacks from Hell, and then some of them just what we have. Well, at least for me, just what I have. So since Chris is still not back, he's back, and he's always got a book graveyard shirt on. That's awesome.
Got to represent.
Fantastic.
I'm wearing.
Is it hot there today?
I'm wearing long sleeve shirt in the middle of the desert and in the middle of 100-degree weather for you, Nick.
Probably the hottest part of the day.
Yeah, right. My swamp cooler's working overtime. So I think that the problem is fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, poor Virgil and I went through hell trying to figure out what happened, and the best we can come up with is that StreamYard had an update and it affected some people, and it just happened to affect both of us, and then it started working a little bit later. So
without really doing anything, mine just started. My setup started to work again, and I have a modern setup, I guess you could say. So it was all I didn't really change anything.
Yeah, in the end, I didn't either.
What's up, Jake?
What's up, Jake? Oh, nice.
Hey, what's up? Infinite Text, what's going on?
Have you talked to Infinite Text, Virgil?
No.
All right.
That would have been something to say offline, right? Well, should we just ask?
Well, Infinite Text, yeah, we're hoping to. I think I might have brought it up on one of her videos. We're hoping to ask you to join us for a Literally Liminal episode.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested, that would be awesome.
Because we both are.
Yeah.
For sure.
Ghost readers in the sky. What's going on? Mom, there are girls here. Oh, man. All right. Oh, sweet.
Right. Yeah. It'd be so cool.
Yeah, good. We got Ira coming up. We had to cancel Ira's episode, unfortunately, because
there's so much time trying to get with Ira.
Oh man. So we'll have Ira, and then just confirmed we're gonna have Infinite Text on.
This is awesome. Yeah, I absolutely love that video that talked about like the kind of is like, about audiobooks, isn't reading, and then she like flipped the whole thing around, and it was so good. It was just such a good video. I was like, God, it was the middle of the night too, right? I'm at work, nothing was going on. I watched it in the middle of the night. I'm like, wow, I'm not supposed to get that excited about book stuff at work.
Yeah.
It's like, this is so cool. I was so excited about it. It was awesome.
Yeah, Virgil, you told me about Infinite Text, and I went and checked out, and her collection of pulp is incredible.
Just so good. And it's such good videos.
Yeah, so many videos of her pulling out these old pulps, weird tales, just incredible. But of course, the video that really blew my mind was her going to that Judith Merrill. Is that the museum the Judith Merrill collection? Absolutely incredible. Really good video.
That's good stuff.
I'll once this live stream is over, I'll go include that in the description as well. That video, everybody should check it out. It's great.
Absolutely.
Hey, Constance.
Constance.
How are you doing? Constance spends as much time on YouTube as I do, I think. We got to time our drinks better, Virgil. We can't.
That's right. We gotta. That's right. We gotta stage it. Have like a drink countdown. Yes, it will be a fun show.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Nice. That's perfect. Eric, what's going on, buddy?
Awesome.
All right.
Woo!
Finity, Captain Finity. I think I said it right that time.
Yeah.
All right. I've heard rumor. I've never heard anybody talk about this directly, but I've heard rumor that Captain Finity is working on some form of artistic project. Maybe a novel, maybe a screenplay. I've heard rumor.
There's a whisper in the wind.
That's right. You know, you're gonna have to let us read this when it happens, Captain Finity. Like, seriously. All right. Yeah, so it sounds like Virgil already talked about this a little bit, but I'm wearing a book graveyard shirt, and I'm wearing it because coming up in about an hour and half?
An hour and a half.
Yeah, an hour and a half. Nick over at the book graveyard is going to be interviewing Will Errickson, who is one of the co-authors of the book Paperbacks from Hell, which was a huge book for everybody. Here you can see Grady Hendrix with Will Errickson.
There it is.
Yeah. So we're basically just kind of we knew we wanted to go live because we couldn't for so long and we were confused, and Virgil's got like tons of vacation and we were all ready to do a bunch of live, and then everything broke. So we figured let's go live today. We got to anyway. And while we're there, let's talk about Paperbacks from Hell a little bit. I know we don't usually do themes, but this one has a theme, all in honor of Nick at the book graveyard and Paperbacks from Hell. So I've gone through and grabbed as many. I could only get about halfway through the book of my Paperbacks from Hell that I have, and Virgil grabbed a bunch of horror books that feel like Paperbacks from Hell or are Paperbacks from Hell.
Yeah, I don't have as much out of the book as you for sure, but I have some stuff that seems relevant.
Yeah, Nick recently did this on his channel too, a whole video of him just pulling out and just seeing that wall of horror, and he kept using the word "we." And I was like, is Nick like using the royal we? Like, what's going on here? And then like right near the end of the video, he's like, I keep saying we, by the way, this is mine and my wife's collection. And I was like, oh, okay.
I kind of thought that when he was saying it. I'm like, he must be me. He must meet his wife.
I just thought he was using the royal we, like King Nick, man.
Adopted it.
The horror king.
The horror king. He's adopted the mantle.
All right. He's Captain Finity says he's locking it down to a comic book first and a book following that. Fantastic.
Sounds like a good plan. That sounds like a really good
Are you
plan.
doing the drawing yourself, or do you have somebody that you're going to have do the drawing? That's really cool. Mr. Bandana Head, what's up, chicken jockey? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes.
All right. What are your thoughts on Agrippa by William Gibson? You know anything about that, Virgil?
I do not. I do not know anything.
No idea.
No,
now, William Gibson, is he the one that wrote Lord of the Flies?
Oh, is that William Gibson?
I feel like that's William Gibson.
Or is Gibson? Does Gibson? Wait a minute.
No, Neuromancer.
No, I was like, okay, no, he's the guy who did a. You got me confused. Like, wait a minute, is that who it is? It's the guy who did the cyberpunk book.
Neuromancer. He wrote Neuromancer.
Yeah,
I don't know Agrippa.
You threw a rock right into the.
I screwed it up with Lord of the Flies.
That was Golding.
Golding. Yes, William Golding is who I was thinking of.
We're getting our writers messed up already.
Totally. What's going on, Sephiroth?
Neuromancer was really weird.
Yeah. Sephiroth, I need you in like the Discord to to just give me a link to your music so that I can push it out there. Sephiroth is a fantastic musician, and I say this every time he pops on, and I don't have links. So send me links that I can copy and put in the descriptions of the live videos. For my sins, I'm doing the art too. It's photos made to look like drawings, a la Linklater's Waking Life and Scanner Dark. Oh, is it
like a rotoscoping?
Rotoscoping, yeah. That's
I love
cool.
rotoscope stuff. I actually really do.
Yeah.
And I love both of those movies too.
Yeah.
Especially Waking Life. I really like Waking Life.
I don't know Waking Life, and I've heard of Scanner Darkly, but big list of shame here. I haven't seen the. I want to read the book first.
Yeah,
before I see the movie.
Scanner Darkly isn't too hard to find. Waking Life is kind of hard to find now.
Yeah,
you have to buy like an old DVD or something. Is basically it.
Yeah,
which is a bummer.
Yeah, and isn't one of the Lord of the Rings cartoons, the early Lord of the Rings cartoons, rotoscope as well?
Yep, the old 70s one is. Yep.
Yeah, I grew up on
Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
is that
only the first half of the trilogy.
Is that the one with the song Frodo of Nine Fingers and the Ring of Doom and where there's a whip, there's a way?
The animated Bass, Franklin Bass.
Oh, okay.
That one's titled Return of the King.
Okay, that one I know better.
And that's basically the whole story compressed.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that's not confusing.
Yeah, I loved that one. I used to run around. I still to this day run around singing Frodo of the Nine Fingers and the Ring of Doom, but I'll put my family members' names in instead of Frodo.
It's very catchy music, actually. Yeah,
I love it. I love it, man. I made News from the Gelding. I made Jimmy play it on one of his radio shows. Not that one specifically, just the opening, the Hobbit music.
Yeah,
which is very similar. Very similar. Looks like Sephiroth just sent me stuff.
Oh, cool.
Perfect. Thank you, Sephiroth. I'll put links to Sephiroth's music in the description when I'm done here.
It's good stuff.
Oh my God, Leonard Nimoy singing the Hobbit song. Do you remember that?
Yes, it is very funny.
Is Gibson? Oh no, is Gibson the playwright?
I don't know. William Gibson's of
William Gibson did Romancer. William Golding did Lord of the Flies.
Nice. There might be a Gibson who's a playwright.
There could be a Gibson playwright.
There probably is. So.
Jonathan Gibson III, playwright extraordinaire. I'm making this up.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay, I'm listening. Complete fabrication. Okay.
What's up, Goblin?
Hey, what's going on? I still have to make a video to I had a request to try and convince people to read Jack Vance's Dying Earth. I still need to make that video.
It's interesting. I find a lot of people like Vance is like a love or hate. I don't see any in between. And I finally found, I don't know if I ever showed you, Virgil, but I finally found a vintage copy of Dying Earth.
Yeah. Dying Earth, I think Dying Earth has pretty good universal appeal. Like, if there's things about Jack Vance you don't like, I think you would still like Dying Earth. In my personal opinion, I'm not going to make that pitch right here, but yeah, it's really good. Especially the last story, the longest one, is really good. It's like super good. But all the short ones are really good too. They get reprinted all the time. Like, what is the one? I can't remember the title. Something with the eyes or something. I can't remember the title of it, but yeah, that's a good copy.
Finally.
Why do they put the stickers like that? Don't you hate
it? I know.
Gonna
get some lighter fluid or some
I got some, after all that talk and all those live streams, I picked up a bottle of lighter fluid. I'm a little nervous keeping it in here, but
yeah, so this will be coming up on my channel eventually, because I mean, it's weird right now. I've got a video blowing up. Anybody that's here for that, welcome. Thank you for joining the channel. I'm getting Brian Aldiss's Barefoot in the Head. Like, everybody's like, you got to read this, you got to read this. So I finally found a copy cheap enough for me on eBay, so that's coming. But this is the other thing I'm recommended more than anything, man. I mean, just constantly.
It's I think I think it's has a real wide appeal. I really do.
Love Walking Life. I got to see this. I don't even know what it
Waking
is.
Life, yeah. Waking Life is really good.
Waking Life.
Waking Life, yeah.
Yeah.
If the rotoscope stuff that you've seen from Scanner Darkly looks cool. Waking Life kind of like started it off. What? Which one did you read though, Jake? You read something. You read like something like some little story from somewhere else. Did you read a big known story? That's what I'm wondering. Because he wrote a lot. He was really prolific, but you only hear about these like very small selections, and everything I've read of his that's been bigger has been really good, or
I read
doing something interesting.
I read The Last Castle, and just like all the critics of the time, my English teacher hat kind of went on, and I read it as a analogy for slavery, and then the YouTubes got pissed at me. Like I got so many mad comments, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was a really fun read. I did.
And that's what surprised me about that is because you gave a really even-handed view. You said, I think that the writing is really good. I think the creativity is really good. I did not like what I am interpreting as this message. I didn't like that, if that's correct. And that's how you presented it. And I thought that was a very even-handed way to do it. And not everyone agreed.
It's my most divisive video. We'll say that. If you're new here and want to see what my most divisive video is.
Divisive video. Wait, or is it the one with Jason instead?
See, I'm not counting Jason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jason liking that Star Wars show. Like the internet.
I like how you don't even support him in that. You're like, Jason liking that show.
They had a meltdown. I never saw it. I never watched the show.
Fair
I don't
enough.
like Star Wars. I don't care.
You're like, and I won't watch it.
So this
Blue
is
World
response to you.
I don't know anything about Blue World. Yeah, I would not. Yeah, so you should. I can't recommend enough how good Dying Earth is. It's marketed, and all the images show you like sci-fi, and it's a complete lie. It's much more fantasy. It's like science fantasy, really, but it's much. It's like 95% fantasy and like 5% sci-fi. So
I read all 3 of the Circus World books. Is that a Vance thing?
I don't think it is. I got those Circus World books by a long year, and I showed that off a little while ago.
Oh, maybe that's what
maybe
Mr.
that's it. Yeah,
talking about.
I think that's Circus World, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. Very long year.
He said he had a blast.
Yeah, I've heard. It's the cover and the premise seemed the cover seemed silly. The premise seemed silly but good, and then the praise was high. And I'm like, well, I might have stumbled onto something here. This is cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Eyes of the Otherworld would make a good Eves book.
Yeah, Eyes of the Overworld is good. Yep, that's the next book. So the first book is like Dying. So the series is called Dying Earth. The series is called the Dying Earth series. Usually, the first book is the Dying Earth, which is like a bunch of short stories that he published separately. Then Eyes of the Overworld is also shorter stories, but they're all the same character, and it's like you follow his adventures, Kugel, and they're comedic, kind of like a very dry comedy. A lot of people, and I kind of learned this term from all the people who commented on that review I did of it, that it's a picturesque, where you follow sort of a roguish character and their misadventures through something. Yeah, it's, if nothing else, just read The Dying Earth, but you should know that The Dying Earth is one way, Eyes of the Overworld and the sequel, Kugel Saga, are another way, and then the final book, Rialto the Marvelous, is almost even a third way. So
is this The Eyes of Laura Mars? I don't know what that is.
That one I don't know offhand, but I probably, with a little more reference, I might get it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to your review on that one. Yeah, that one's wacky because the first half is absolute satire, ridiculousness, and then the second half is some of the craziest, wildest, deepest sci-fi. It's really a good time. Gibson, The Miracle Worker. I think about Helen Keller and her first teacher. Oh, okay.
Huh. Okay. Maybe
That's where they keep doing the water scene. I remember from that play the scene about the water where she's constantly holding her hand under the spigot and then signing water in her hand. So that must be by Gibson. Okay. I'm reading I Always Have Lived in the Castle. Okay, that's perfect. I love that book, by the way. That
the
is
first
one of my
Elric book, yeah.
favorite books of all time, and I pulled it out because it is also in the Paperbacks from Hell book, and it's one of
That's
the
right.
first ones in the Paperbacks from Hell. In the introduction, of course, we start with the little people.
Which I have a copy of, but it does not look like that. It's a modern printing. It looks very boring.
And then
and I don't really recommend it to most people.
You will see has We Have Always Lived in the Castle, which is some of my favorite art ever. I just love that art. It was rated.
It's phenomenal. It really is.
Later, the artist repurposed it later for a horror movie by Mario Bava. So that's one of the Paperback from Hell books that I have. As per Chris's permission, he's getting rotoscoped into my comic right now. One good action and one dastardly action. Was that right? Got to keep the balance. I'm down with that.
Scoop right in. There's something about rotoscoping and stop motion animation. Just always do it for me. I
want to make it a deal that I get a copy, though. That's the deal.
Yeah. If you're in it, you need to get a signed copy.
That's right. If I'm gonna be in it. Circus World is similar to Dying Earth, in my opinion. So it must have been Circus World that made him think of.
Oh, very interesting. I didn't know that. I love the premise. It's just, and if anybody doesn't know the premise, at least the premises that sold to me in that book that I found a copy of, is basically like this circus spaceship like crashes on a planet, and then they sort of like they almost like become a circus colony. And like work their way back up into space travel or something like that. Yeah, is it? Yes, it is a complete novel. I think it was written as
that doesn't seem to be.
I think he wrote it. I guess I misspoke. It wasn't really short stories. I think it was written like as a serial or something, or it was published over a course of like 4 or 5 publications in fantasy and science fiction magazine.
But this is a fix-up novel, right?
That's a he wrote that as short stories, and it's fixed up. The last one is like a novella. The third one is a straight novel, and the fourth one is a straight novel. Like it was, and the humor gets really good, especially in the third one. We did. That's actually Chris did a what do you call it when you do like an impression of Ira there behind him. You got that at your. He's like, all right.
I need a hat to put on it. No, Ira, we are going to reschedule with Ira. This was a test run just to make sure that everything's working again. So it's a surprise live.
We tried so hard to get that going. I felt so bad because we had worked because it's been so hard. What's up, A-Top?
How you doing, buddy?
Get Ira on. And then it was like, well, it can't work, Ira. We were doing anything at this point. What's going on,
Matthew? Oh my God, he's written us a bunch here.
Oh, no idea how much I want for that cover.
Oh,
yeah, I've lived in the castle. Saw a KI. I don't know what that is. Kijiji post of someone. It's probably an acronym I should understand. Selling it for
$2 for that is amazing, and I got mine cheap. I did.
It feels like if you're going to find it for anything reasonable, you're going to find it from somebody who just thinks it's another book.
And I wish I would have known this, Curtis, back on the time, but I've had 2 of them. I sold one and kept one. So if I would have known, I would have sent it to you. But that was back when the channel was young. Ira sent me a copy of Circus World and was raving about it.
Oh, well, listen, we'll have to do this. And also, we were talking about Jake. Jake had said somewhere that he wants to read a pulp, or no, was it a Gothic Western? And I didn't say his name in the video because I wanted to ask him directly. So here I'm asking him directly. If you want to read The Hawkline Monster with me, we'll find a copy and send it to you. It looks really good. It literally is titled A Gothic Western, and it's supposed to be really good. It's got some very interesting critique about it.
Okay.
Yes.
There it is in writing. Y'all saw it here. I get a digital.
You get a physical,
digital, and then a printed copy. Yes. Somebody's got a question for you.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Virgil, what the hell is that Baudelaire
Baudelaire.
connection? Baudelaire connection you referenced in Discord?
So I guess I don't know a lot about Baudelaire. Do you know who Baudelaire is? He's like a French poet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I've come across him, but no, I can't drop any knowledge.
So the connection, when I hear the name Baudelaire, I think of a cartoon that's an old favorite of mine from the 90s, Phantom 2040. And the main antagonist is this woman whose husband is dead, and he's inhabiting a computer program. And their son, Max, has this cat that he calls Baudelaire, and he always talks to Baudelaire, his cat, and as though the cat can talk back. And he's always making decisions and saying, oh, Baudelaire doesn't like this and everything else. And so whenever I hear Baudelaire or see Baudelaire, I always think of that show.
Huh.
Really great. The guy who did, if you know who Peter Chung is, the guy who drew Aeon Flux.
Oh, man.
He was the artist, he did the character design for Phantom 2040.
I remember being young, inebriated, and Aeon Flux coming on late at night on MTV, and I was like, what?
Aeon Flux is the best. I love Aeon Flux. So that's where the Baudelaire connection comes from. I'm sorry I haven't checked back in Discord.
But you would have wanted collector's prices for that second. No, I would have sent it to you for free. I just sent Brian a fun book that Brian was like, dude, that book is worth money. I don't care about that kind of stuff. I like the idea of people reading way more. I mean, and you're right, I do sell books, but
I agree. I like it too. Like I'd rather somebody get to read something than it just sit on somebody's shelf or in an eBay store and in plastic somewhere.
Yeah.
To me, that's just more appealing.
Yeah.
That's how those books get stick around. So
yeah, Liquid Television. Oh, Liquid Television, man, that brings back memories.
That, and I think what else was in Liquid Television? There was some other stuff too. I can't think of what else was on there. But and then Flux got its own TV show too.
Curtis, if I find another copy, it'll go your way. But not this one. Because that's fine.
Another copy. It's in worse condition.
Shit. This Santa Claus reminded me of something. There was something that Nick commented on. I think it was one of the cult videos, Virgil, where he said in that red Snuggie, Chris kind of looks like Santa. But the first time I read it, I thought it said Satan, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, wait a minute.
So I was like, dude, Nick gets it. Nick gets it. And then I was like, oh, Santa.
Santa, come on, Nick.
Oh my God. Oh shit. All right. Virgil, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first? Chris,
I'll show. Oops. So I don't know what era we're in. So I'll just show I'll show a couple books that I don't think are in there for one. I'll show one. So this looks like it could have been included. It's really hard to read though. But it kind of is this old Dean Koontz book called Darkfall. I don't know if you can see the embossed face on there. Yeah, but I thought that was cool. I don't think this is not in that book.
I've read that one.
No step back art or anything. This is looks like it's from the 80s, 84. I don't know. Just seemed like, well, again, I don't have very many of those books out of there. So that was one. And this one is not in there, but it is a very cool cover. It's kind of coveted, but it's my wife's copy of Stephen King's It with Tim Curry.
Oh, nice.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess I don't need to show the page and then show the book, do I?
You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't think I will. I just got this stack of books that are paperbacks from hell.
Do it.
Haunting a Hill House by Shirley Jackson.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the complete Popular Library covers for these because they're absolutely incredible.
How many more are there?
Well,
sorry.
A lot.
Derailed.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4 more on my shelf over here. And then I think I need 2 or 3 more. And then I'll be done with the Shirley Jackson collection.
Highly unlikely I'll ever come across one, but if I do,
yeah,
I'll think of you.
Yeah,
At least
exactly.
try to get. At least try to
I
pick it
come
up.
across 2. Oh my goodness,
You guys, everyone
Brian.
has way more luck with finds than I do. I very rarely find anything.
Oh, I'm out a lot looking for books.
Yeah,
Brian sent me this one.
yeah, I love. Oh yeah, Exhumation Station. I think
Yes,
was talking about that. I remember it was awesome.
that's another person I want on the show sometime. But
Yeah,
we'll have to do a cult show for that one.
this is true.
Because he loves the horror. That's what he does. If you have not seen, what's the name of his channel again?
Exhumation Station. I think. I hope I get that right.
Exhumation Station.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the book you've had the longest yet not read?
Ooh, that's a good.
Holy
Personally,
hell, Levi.
let's see. It would either be a very old collection of short stories written, like a fantasy collection about like King Arthur stories, Quest for the Grail or Grails or something like that. That one's really old, and I should read it one day. There's probably another one. Let me think.
I think mine is Firestarter by Stephen King, but I started it a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
I think that book was one of the first books my mom ever gave me because I liked Stephen King so much. And that book, I just could not get through. I could not get through, but I really quick got to respond to Tim here.
Okay.
No, this is for Nick. This is
to get everything drummed up, and then at the end we're gonna send everybody over to Nick's channel.
Yeah, this is the tailgate party for Nick's video with Will Errickson. That's why we're talking about Paperbacks from Hell. Yeah. And when we're done, we're gonna send the whole lot of us, all 23 of us, are going over to.
We're all gonna migrate.
We're gonna migrate right over to Nick's channel and watch him interview Will Errickson, because that is cool.
Very cool.
It was a good question, Levi.
Yes, it is a good question. There's probably another one, but that's what I had.
Yeah, the font on the Seed of Evil is good. Yeah, I've already lost it. But yeah.
That's something I kept when I was watching Nick's video where he went through his collection the other day. I kept going, man, this cover is cool, and the font is just killing me on some of those books. There was one was like the Cell or something like that, and the shadows from the elves were like these two claws like on the ground or something like that. It was so Cell or something like that. Oh, it was so cool. I was like, oh, that font is awesome. Sounds like a Firestarter.
I love the first edition art on Firestarter. It's done in pencil crayon, but looks so sharp. I have to go grab this really quick, Virgil.
I don't know if I have that. We have I don't think we have a first. I doubt we have one. Just paperbacks. Most of my old Stephen King, or our old Stephen King stuff, is my wife's. Because we just have a lot of like, the stuff that was like at Walgreens or whatever. Is there a run on the Walgreens editions of Stephen King books? I don't think so. That'd be an interesting thing. The stuff that you think nobody wants is the stuff that everybody wants. So maybe there will.
Here's my first edition. It was $13.95, and it is cool art.
Yeah, it is.
Is that what you're talking about, Curtis?
Especially how the fire is translucent like that. I love
it. Yeah, maybe that's what. If you look close, you can see a burning figure reflected in the eyes on the cover. Oh my God, you're right.
Oh wow, that is cool.
That is very crazy. Cool. Wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, couldn't get through this. It's weird.
You couldn't take it, or you just weren't interested in it.
There's what I call, and I made a video of this recently, so I'm going to give away my joke. But there's a part of early Stephen King's bibliography that I call the dead zone, and it starts with the dead zone and it ends with Firestarter, and it's just those two. For some odd reason, the dead zone and Firestarter were not for me, man.
I really remember liking. I didn't finish Dead Zone, so maybe that says something. But I remember the writing was so good. There was some very memorable writing, but
wholesome. Yeah. Also, I look like Satan and not Santa.
There's no way. It's right, but not Santa's. Wholesome.
Oh, that's interesting. If y'all streamed on Twitch, you could raid into someone else's stream and dump all your watchers on them. That's our goal.
Yeah.
Everybody that's here, you need to go watch Nick's after this. That's the plan.
Is there a book Twitch? I wonder about that. I thought about trying to do stuff on Twitch. Is there book Twitch? I don't even know.
So my kid sometimes streams on Twitch, doing her art or whatever, and I asked her, I said, do I need to, is that a market I need to jump into? And she said no. So I have no idea.
No. I know there's a lot of gaming, and I've watched a lot of people do like miniature painting, like really good, like really professional miniature painters will do like live streams while they paint, and which seems awesome.
Yeah, my kid's a good drawer.
Sure.
That's the technical term.
I know.
Drawer.
That's why I
don't know that, Levi. I've never heard that. I have no idea.
Pyrokinesis? It could be. I mean, was there a lot of talk about pyrokinesis before?
Yeah, that's her superpower. That's her superpower.
Yeah, I don't know. Not much, probably. I don't know. I like that idea. It could be.
I will not make you become a Twitcher. I promise.
Do not become a Twitcher. Is that what they call somebody who does like Twitch? A Twitcher? I never thought of that.
Yeah, I got a lot to say about this. So Captain Finity says, I've just been having the Deckard debate online again, not here. I concluded that ambiguous endings suck, but hard to figure out riddles rule. Thoughts? My favorite book in the entire world is Hardboiled Wonderland and the End of the World. And most people that hate that book, the reason they hate it is because the ending is ambiguous. And I would argue, and I do on my big, long, epic, stupid long video about it, that it's a riddle, and everything you need to know the ending of that book has been given to you. It just asks you to put the pieces together. And for me, I love that shit. I love a book that will ask the reader to get involved, not just stand back and enjoy the fantasy, but to get involved in the process. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I do too. I think an ambiguous ending can be great if it's, like you said, if the evidence is there. So there's also ambiguous books that choose to have an ambiguous ending that don't have. Maybe even it could still be ambiguous. Maybe there aren't direct clues, but maybe it's like just sloppy work, right? So if it's done, it has to be done right. But if it's done right, I think that can be done well. It could be great. I like the ending of Blade Runner. I like that there's a question.
Oh, we're talking about the movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In that sense, yeah. But I haven't finished that book yet. I'm working on it, Chris. I really do like it, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's fine, man. Take your time, because we have to. You and I. Oh, it used to be there. It's not there anymore. You and I guess this is a great place to announce it, are going to mosey on over towards the fourth book in Book of the New Sun.
Yep.
So that we can finish up our epic 17-hour discussion of all those books.
That's right.
Yeah. Awesome. The last one, and I know it's not the last one, but we're gonna, for all intents and purposes, when he finished the Book of the New Sun, he thought it was done, and then later he wrote that coda.
Right.
But yeah, it's gonna be an awesome conversation, because we'll talk about the fourth book a lot, of course, but I think we'll also talk about the entirety of the series when we do that.
Yeah, it is. I'm so glad that I got to reread it with you. This is such a rewarding experience. It really is.
So fun. Darling Creepshow. Do you know Darling Creepshow, kid?
I do not.
Do you know the painter Darling Creepshow on Twitch? No. Okay. No.
Sounds like it's probably a miniature painter. We'll have to
check it out. Yeah, I love the idea of just watching a person paint. That's incredible.
It could be so. I can't remember the name of the person who I would watch a lot of, but she did some amazing stuff.
People on Twitch can only read tiny comment bubbles scrolling across the screen. They can't do books.
Oh. I didn't know that. Dang it. I love it.
Sephiroth says they can read.
They can read enough to click go live, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cody makes a good point here. Maybe not ending halfway into a story, but if you leave enough wrapped, it can be great. I agree. There are times when if it just dead ends, I'm frustrated. I feel like if you're going to end ambiguously, you need to give us the clues to sort out what happened. An ambiguous ending
can be sorry, go ahead. It still has to be a satisfying ending of some sort. You still have to have, ambiguous doesn't mean unsatisfying.
Right.
It's, you know what I mean? It could be ambiguous and you can still
Yeah.
say that you're like, huh, I wonder what did happen, and you can kind of work on it. I like that, but it can be done
Yeah.
wrong. Just like a wrapped up ending can be done wrong too,
Right.
or telegraph. So
Yeah, I think of the Castle and the Trial, Kafka's novels that he never wanted to publish, that his buddy defied his death orders to burn them and actually publish them. And the one ends really well and one ends ambiguously, but it's funny because neither of them were complete. So they literally just stopped. But he was able to, Max Broad, I believe his name was able to take a very small short story that Kafka wrote about the justice system and pop it at the end of the trial, and it wrapped it up completely. But the castle ending was so frustrating because he was like, this sucks, and like threw it on a pile and gave up. Yeah. Yeah, Book of the New Sun is great. Agreed. Virgil's read it before. This is my first time through, so I'm very excited to see how it wraps up. I spent 2 months of my life reading Book of the New Sun and listening to Alzabo Soup. Eventually, I do want to listen to Alzabo Soup.
yeah, I think I think I didn't. My worry was that I'd have what they said in my head and I just regurgitate it, and I didn't want to do that.
Constance, I have to agree with you. Constance said Hardboiled Wonderland made perfect sense to me. The only Murakami that really did. LOL, but that's okay too. I agree. In my opinion, Hardboiled Wonderland is the best version of Murakami's writing for me. There's a completeness to the analogies and to the mysteries and the magical realism that say something like Wind Up Bird Chronicle, which I absolutely love and will do on the channel eventually, but is so much more open-ended, or Kafka on the Shore. Any of these are really kind of hard to suss out what exactly is going on. And I think, yeah, Hardboiled is pretty straightforward when you think of it like that. I just got Light at the End because Chris recommended it. I didn't recommend that. I said I'm reading it, and I am, and it is written well so far. I hope you like it. Brian from Bad Taste Books is the one that has Virgil and I reading that one. So, yeah, I hope that I love it, and I hope that you do too. So far, it's written very well. It's vampires on a train, from what I can tell. I don't know how far you are in, Virgil, but
I've gotten past the train scene and to the next scene. I think I like the writing. The writing I think it's well written and it moves quickly. And I think it has this really cool kind of like gritty, ugly, nasty picture of like New York City that I like.
Yeah.
You know, it feels good in a bad way.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's strange because it's not a book I'd ever choose. And I was afraid of it because of the splatterpunk connection. But nothing, I mean, there's gore, but it's like over the top 80s gore. It's hilarious before it's not like stomach churning,
right,
disgusting gore. It's not gore for the sake of being disgusted. It's action over the top gore that I've seen so far. I don't know if that is how it hit for you, Virgil.
Yeah, I think because we talked a little bit about this, and I think I had a misconception about what splatterpunk was, what could be, or sometimes was, and I think what I thought the definition of it was more extreme horror, when it is trying to go for that, like make you kind of cringe or kind of like turn your head away sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I've not seen any of that. There's nothing in here that I haven't read in any other horror book. You know, there's nothing worse in here than maybe like a Stephen King book or something. And we're not very far into it, of course, but it seems fine. It seems like it's going to be a good ride.
Maybe I did recommend it because I just brought it up and said I'm enjoying it so far. And I think for me,
wait a minute,
that's kind of a recommendation. I think.
Myself.
I see it. Speaking of ambiguous endings, Evangelion knows how to do it. Also, I will defend the end of The Sopranos as the best finale I've ever seen. Never seen the Sopranos. I've seen Evangelion. I remember as like a young 19-year-old, I guess, watching that. And if I remember correctly, it stopped on one piece of animation. So it stopped being animated, and then it just played Beethoven's Ninth Symphony for like 10 minutes.
Not quite that long, but yes.
And I was just like, my jaw was on the floor. It was so incredible and a wild, truly wild way to end a book. Just incredible.
Super, yeah, very bold choices for sure at the end. And Curtis and I did a huge epic talk about it. I was going to have that edited to put out this weekend, but I figured because of the holiday that people might not even be home. So next weekend, Curtis and I talked for like 2.5 hours. So it'll probably get edited down a little bit. I mean, it'll probably be
2 hours and 25 minutes.
Yeah. I think I am going to release 2 versions. There's going to be one spoiler-free version, maybe, so that somebody who just to get to sort of sell it on somebody, and then just like the entire thing edited, with all the like long pauses and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a really good time. And then once that's out, then Curtis and I'm going to at least watch the movie, and we're going to do another recording.
Nice.
So it's going to be awesome.
Wait a second, says Tim. How many of the Elric group are in the chat right now? There are a bunch of us yapping on Discord at the same time. Yeah, my Discord keeps going off on my phone here, so that must be what's going on.
So you guys are reading Elric, right, Tim? Do you need another Elric person? I love Elric stuff. I would. That's my favorite sword and sorcery character.
You should absolutely join us, man.
Yeah.
I just finished the first one. I'm gonna record a video about it in the next couple of days. I'm in a unique position because I read the final program first, which is a sci-fi retelling of Elric of Melnibone.
Melnibone is how I heard it.
Melnibone.
I've heard it called Melnibone and Melnibone.
I'll stick with
is how I always.
Yeah,
it just sounds cooler. I just picked one.
Melon bone. This was my second Moorcock read, and I absolutely loved it. What a great time. Yeah, really, truly wonderful time. Yeah, I'm sure that Tim will want you to jump on board with us.
Yeah, if it's all filled up, it's cool.
Well, you should join the Discord where everybody's chatting right now.
Okay,
that's just open to anybody. Damn it! How am I going to remember all these links I got to put in here? Both long.
I hate that, but I give myself homework, and then I'm like, what do I have to do?
Yeah. Both Long Sun and Short Sun are excellent. Short Sun is another level in term of character work and emotional payoff.
I remember like the cerebral, like mind breakingness, like of ideas in Short Sun being like, my goodness, this is so good. I've only read unfortunately though, I've only read the first 2 books. I have not read the third one, so I need to reread the whole trilogy.
What else would we be doing on a Saturday night, Tim? Oh, is this another vampire train story?
I think it might just be a reference to what we're doing. Reading the Fang Train.
Vampires on a train. There has to be a joke in that. I feel like I'm getting way behind on comments here.
The wait sucks.
Odds are, if you talk about a book on your channel, I try to read that. I love that.
That's awesome.
Seriously, viewers like that, you guys kick ass because it's so much more fun. Like I do deep reads, and I don't expect as many people to watch a deep read as a review. It will never happen, and that's fine. But I love it. Seeing the comments on the deep reads it's really and they're the most fun for me. Like diving in and breaking them down is so fun.
And it's so exciting to help somebody find something that they really like.
Yeah.
Ooh, I never would have found this. I mean, that's definitely happened just talking with everybody else here. I've definitely found stuff and like I would not have read Pin. Wouldn't have read Pin. Right. If it hadn't been for Chris's pick, I never would have read it, and that would have been a real loss for me because that book was great.
Pin. I got Pin here somewhere.
Pin.
Yeah, it's bagged, so I can't show the step back art. But
I think I got mine handy.
Oh, good, because if you look at the thumbnail that I put for this live, we took that. Oh, show them the step back art. I took the step back art and put Virgil and Brian and I in that step back art. It's the thumbnail.
he's like, I'm gonna do a thing, and I'm like, okay. And then he did it, and I was like, oh my god.
Pin's great. If you would like to see the video on Pin, go to Virgil's channel and look for the video where we're all wearing red robes.
There's a playlist where it's in the playlist.
Yeah. I can't wait till y'all read Cypher or Bad Brains by Kathy Koja. Interesting.
I know the Cypher has come up before. I've heard good things about the cipher.
I didn't like Bad Brains much. The cipher was great, though.
Okay, well, there you go.
I wonder if I am missing some important reference when reading Murakami, maybe Japanese myth or some such. Constance, if you are interested, I went deep into Japanese myth on my Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World deep dive. And I do talk about, because there's kappa in that book, although in the original translation he didn't call them kappa, but I don't need to go into that now. But there's this underground world with this huge shrine in the middle, and yeah, there's always going to be kind of cultural references that are harder to get. But I feel like Murakami very much wants to be a writer that any person can pick up and enjoy thoroughly. So like I just read Oyamada's book The Hole, which I'm going to be talking about on the channel sometime next week. It was incredible, but it was so Japanese that I feel like I have to, when I do my deep read, I'm going to have to be like, this is part of the culture and this is part of the culture. And I think Murakami is probably the lightest in that of all of the Japanese books that I've read.
So do you think in your non-spoilered or non-deep read video, you're going to have like recommended reading?
I know it's going to be hard because I had to do that with the Dream Master. I keep getting people come back and saying, why'd you recommend this? This sucks. So I want everybody that reads it to like first read. It's weird to give somebody homework to enjoy a book, but I feel like I have to do that with the Dream Master. You got to read Tennyson's poem, The Lady of Shalott. It's super short, and you got to at least familiarize yourself with the end of Cloyas and Triselda, or whatever that's called, the Shakespeare play, or the old myth version of it, or whatever, because those two things are pieces you need to solve the riddle that is the ambiguous end of that book. And I love it.
Is that, did you say before that that's the what's the original myth? Is it Tristan and Isolde, or is that somebody? Okay.
Yes. And then what did Shakespeare called it? He
I don't
changed.
remember.
Maybe
I wish I could say, but
I'm saying the older French version. I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, I'm eager to see people's reactions to that giant Evangelion nerd out we recorded. Nice.
It's good. It was a lot of fun, and there's good stuff in there.
Thanks, Tim, man. I'm excited. It was so good. You're right. That is, and I am so looking forward to the rest of the series.
Yeah,
I really am. And I'm listening to a lot of Hawkwind because of it, which is always a great time. I believe they did. And this is an album I'm kind of looking for now because I want to listen to it. I believe they did in 2016 or something crazy like that. They did a Stormbringer album or the Dark Sword, or I can't remember. I'll put it in the Discord. But yeah, I'm having a riot. The accent is on the E. I bet that would have made sense at one point when I said something. I DNF'd Revenge of the Rose, but all the others are great. I think the Revenge of the Rose is like a much later addition to Elric, right?
I like Revenge of the Rose, but I think the first time I read it, I hated it. I don't know what to say other than that. When I first read Revenge of the Rose, I really didn't like it. I thought it was the worst. And then when I went back a couple years ago and read the original 6, and then the 2 later ones, Fortress of the Pearl, Revenge of the Rose, I really liked Revenge of the Rose then. I don't remember what changed for me, but I want to say that okay, but doesn't mean, yes, I could see where that is coming from. Yeah, I think because it's maybe because it's an interjected story, because it just sort of like fits itself in. It doesn't really add to the myth, so to speak. Yes, I have read Corum. Corum is very good too. Yeah, read Corum, read Hawkmoon, read Elric. I have not read Eric Cose, and not read Count Brass, and I'm reading still, going back through Von Beck. So I've read a bunch of Moorcock stuff.
Nice.
But not a lot of his
than me.
Yeah, not a lot of his non-sword and sorcery stuff though. I always wanted to read the one where it's like the fire clowns or whatever. Yeah, the Corum stuff's good. I recommend it. The weight sucks.
I don't remember. Sorry.
It was probably a very pertinent reference at the moment that we're like.
Virgil, have you read Wizard War by Hugh Cook? Also titled The Wizards and the Warriors in the UK Australian editions.
I have not read anything by Hugh Cook. Wizard War.
Oh my God,
Mm.
Curtis. Oh, let's see if I can pull this out really quick.
The
Okay,
other Murakami named
Yu Murakami. I I was living in Japan and I was super interested in Japanese literature. It's what I minored in my undergrad, and I was constantly just looking for any English translations. And I grabbed Yu Murakami's Coin Lacquer Babies, and I still have.
You talked about this before.
It is the grittiest, goriest novel I've ever read.
I remember you talking about it. You said Coin Locker Babies. I'm like, that's a title. And then you went on. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's about 3 people that were abandoned as children in coin lockers, which apparently is a thing that either mythically happens in Japan or does. I don't know. But it was disgusting. It was horrible, and I weirdly loved every minute of it. I think
that's how horror works, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he also wrote Audition, which Miki Takeshi made a movie out of. I think that's based on a Yu Murakami novel. I think that's true. But anyway, I've only read Coin Locker Babies, and it is kind of like watching a car crash. If you're not into that kind of stuff, you never should. But as far as kind of shocking horror goes, I freaking loved it. I really did. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Joe, what's going on?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I just finished it. I think yesterday morning. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I hope we didn't miss you because I'm going slow through these comments. Oh no, I'm already. Oh no, I'm not. The Lady of Shalott is incredible. Absolutely. Lorena McKennitt does a very elf-like sounding song. Ooh, I'll have to check that out. I remember Lorena McKennitt, and I love The Lady of Shalott. That's a good one. I should put together a channel that just does poetry.
Well, we should do some more of that. Yeah.
The Stormbringer album is by Deep Purple. I didn't know that. I'll have to look that up. I know there is a 2016 Hawkwind album that has something to do with Moorcock's Eternal Champion. I'll figure out what I'm talking about and let you know.
Yeah, I know Cerberus. Yep.
Yeah, I had a hard time with Cerberus. I was enjoying it, and then
there's a change at some point. I don't remember when the change is, but there's a big change at some point. And a lot of people don't like it after that.
It went like creepy anti-women. Like there was page after page about how women have never contributed to society. And I mean, I was reading these omnibuses, like just loving them, just tearing through them. And then, man, I don't know if he got divorced or what happened, but it just got, I had to quit. It got disgusting. It got way bad.
There's a really great comic book channel called Comic Tropes, and his name is Chris too. And he did he's a Chris, and he did a long series or a long video kind of biography and discussion about Cerberus or Cerebus, depending on how you want to say that particular one. And talked about it. I remember him talking about it. I don't remember what the deal was, but I know he said there's a certain point where it breaks and changes completely. And I think before I even got there, I'm like, well, I kind of started to lose interest. I don't know. Maybe that shouldn't have happened, but I know the bit that I've read, I enjoyed it. It was fun parody. I
freaking loved it.
Yeah.
For a while. And then I just suddenly found myself reading going, what is this guy talking about? Like it was ridiculous. But Elrod of Melvin Bone is hilarious. And I don't remember that.
Remember Elrod
before or after I quit. That's hilarious.
It was real early, I think.
The Book of Swords trilogy is great.
Fred Saberhagen. Yep.
Oh, damn.
There's some really good myth in there. A lot of fun. Like interaction. The whole premise is like there's these 12 swords made by the gods, and each one has like this very unique power that can do something. And then you get to see these swords sort of interact with each other. You know, like one sword, like if you're defending a town or something, town saver, if you defend a town, like you can't die until the town is saved. Like even if you're dead, you'll keep fighting until the fight's over, and then you die. Or something like that.
This is Moorcock you're talking about?
No. Fred Saberhagen, the guy who wrote the Dracula tapes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Same writer. Or,
Oh, I haven't
he's
done
the
the
Berserk
yet.
series is his big sci-fi series. Yeah, I
Oh,
liked
okay.
it. I read it when I was younger. I didn't read all of it though. I've only read up to a certain point. Yeah, I've seen Eric Koze pop up in a lot of other stories. I think he's in the next Elric book, Sailor on the Seas of Fate. I'm pretty sure Eric Koze pops up.
There it is. Thank you, Goblin. Chronicles of the Black Sword is what I was trying to think of. Yes. Yes. Levi says, as much time as Chris spends reading comments on these streams, it ought to be a call-in show. That's a hard balance. It's true. That is a hard balance.
We gotta go ahead.
That's a hard balance to figure out on these things. When to because I
you don't want to ignore it.
Well, it's weird. I hate when I'm watching a live stream and people are responding in the stream, but they're like a half an hour behind the comments. And I think I've discussed this before. I don't know if I should just like scroll through and ignore half the comments and just put the ones that catch my eye, or if I should go through every one. Like that should be like a poll on my channel. I should do a poll. Like, should I read every comment or should I just try to keep up with the comments?
Yeah, and what's a bummer too, I don't know if when this goes post to your channel, can you go back and look at the comments later and like say, hey, I saw you said, can you do that?
Yeah, you can see the stream. I've got it enabled.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, that's thanks to Jake at Pulp Mortem. Jake taught me that.
Okay, that's a good thing then.
Yeah,
so your comments, if we didn't get to it, your comments are not lost.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Orlok Knight, I think it's called. I'm not familiar with that.
I don't know. I've not read that one.
Yes, Joe, I hope you enjoy it. Oh boy, okay. Mekong Delta, German technical thrash band, has a song on their first album about Elric called Hero's Grief.
Awesome.
That's cool.
What's up, Joe?
Yeah, Dave Sim got divorced. I figured it was really strange because there was this sudden bitterness. I was just like, whoa, bro.
You got that divorced dad energy in him.
That's right. That's right. Definitely referring to early Cerebus there. Sad how his later misogyny has retrospectively ruined the early awesome stuff for many. Agreed. And that early stuff really is awesome.
Yeah, really good parody. Really good, like sword and sorcery parody.
Now, yes, there is a Hawkwood album called Warrior on the Edge of Time, which is one of my favorites. The one I was thinking of was the Chronicles of the Black Sword, but you're right. Warrior on the Edge of Time is also about the Eternal Champion and one of the best Hawkwind albums out there. You guys should definitely give it a listen. Yeah, I was talking about Night Queen, King of Swords by
okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right, because is that what the Quorum books are? I think. Ooh, no, or maybe there's another series. Oh yeah, I can't remember which one that is. I know that.
Yeah,
but I. Oh yeah.
Also mine, Captain Infinity, was very acrimonious divorce. Still good friends.
Good. That's really great to hear. Yeah.
I'm gonna skip this next comment. You can't cover every comment. Don't feel bad if you skip some. All right, I'm gonna skip some of these. Oh no, now I'm to the bottom. Now it doesn't matter.
No, now we can't even use the power we have.
I'd skip this one if I were you.
Like 40 comments saying skip this comment.
Honestly, I'm more excited about how you'll respond to Sailor on the Seas of Fate, Chris. That book blew my mind. Ooh, that's good to know. Yeah, it's interesting because the two Moorcock books that I've read have been the exact same story. So I'm really excited for another story. I really, and they're not bad stories. I'm ready for another one.
Yeah, the Sailor on the Seas of Fate was a really good one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it's weird because I have a couple of versions of these. I'm gonna go grab these really quick because we have Tim here.
Okay, it is the Corn books. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, because I read them as an omnibus, and I remember seeing the titles, but I couldn't remember exactly what they were. I better we're getting close here. I'm gonna go ahead since we're supposed to be talking about paperbacks from hell stuff. I'm gonna hold up some of my relevant Necroscope books because Chris is not. I like Necroscope. I don't think Chris is too excited to try it out, but I like it. So, got the original Necroscope 1. I don't think this is I doubt this is the first edition. Actually, got a lot of these I had them when I was younger, and I got a lot of them when a coworker was like, "I'm throwing a bunch of books away." I'm like, "Well, let me see them." And then he's like, "Okay," and I'm like, "I want all these." Like, I was taking the whole place. Like, oh yeah, these are great. I'm like, I'm taking these with me. Vampire, this is the next one I need to read. I love this one. This one was really good. Vampire was great. And
oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Then we're just go. I'm just holding up some of these Lumley books. Then we have The Source.
Oh,
book 3. Yeah, that's a good one. The cover's good. This book is kind of a little bit of a rug pull. It was good, but it is a little bit of a rug pull. Just gonna leave it right there. I don't have book 4 over here, or do I have book 4? Oh yeah, here's book 4, Dead Speak. And then we have this cover, which I've read up to Dead Speak. I never read Dead Spawn, but I love the cover.
Yeah, I
don't know how Lumley got all these amazing skull covers. They're all like that. They're so good.
I had them all.
And I was
in fact, I had some
hard.
Uh-oh. Are you?
That's just I think it's just a random insert book. Oh no, this is part of the series. I don't remember how this one fits in. I haven't read it, but anyway, those are some Lumley books. Just gonna hold them up. Done.
Yeah, I had a bunch of them, and then I watched Virgil's review of the first one, and I was like, "These aren't for me." And
you're like, I think you said, "I'm so glad you reviewed this. Now I can sell these books."
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And I kept every one of my. Let's see if I can grab this.
Yeah, the Necroscope books are fun. You should think of them as being like kind of pulpy. Oh yeah, was it the Beneath the Moors?
Yep. I kept everything that was connected to in any way to
yeah, I love
Cthulhu mythos stuff.
I used to have that one. I don't have it anymore. It got purged when I was very young, or got sold off or something. I don't know if it was my choice, but yeah, I remember they had a good story or two in there too. If you like, Necroscope is kind of pulpy. It's good fun. I think he does some interesting stuff with vampires, but it has a little bit of tongue in cheek, but I think that's good. I think it's good energy. I don't know how intentional it is. Where it's kind of like that Matt Gammon book, The Wolf's Hour, but The Wolf's Hour kind of went a little bit more serious, and Necroscope went a little bit more like crazy, but a good way. But I think the second book, Vampire, the closest thing I can compare it to is like the X-Files meets the X-Men. Is kind of like, because now you have all these like horror supernatural powers, like Russia and America, and they're like these like E-teams, the psychic teams or whatever, have all these different weird powers, like fighting each other. It's good stuff. It's really fun.
You're talking about Lumley, and everybody in the comments is talking about Elric.
You're like, we talk.
So I can't find the book that I'm reading, but it's just a little silver novel version that covers mostly silver. I think it's from the 70s, but I also have this one.
I have that.
Have fun at work, Joe. Thanks for dropping in.
Oh, sorry. Joe, take it easy.
And then I have this one.
Yeah, that's the one that the guys who did White Wolf. That's a White Wolf Press one.
This one has a map.
Yeah.
And I like that map. That's super cool, because I was super confused when I opened the book and didn't see a map. I mean, this is like a novel that's supposed to have a nap. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the original ones I don't think did. And then I think Chaosium, which is a gaming company, got the rights to print an RPG, Stormbringer, I think is the RPG, which I have a couple of copies of somewhere. Do I have them in here? I don't know. I'll look for them in a second. But so they get the rights to do that, and so they published it. I think that's where the map's source came from. And then White Wolf, the guys who did Vampire the Masquerade and Werewolf the Apocalypse, they published books for a while, and that's their version.
Yeah, I'm just surprised by how different the order is in these books. Like Fortress of the Pearl is slotted in between Sailor on the Seas of Fate.
In the new prints?
No, yeah, in this one. Yeah, the second
that
book,
one.
Yeah, the second book in this one is
I never had that one because I already had it, so I didn't buy it. Although I kind of regret it.
And I don't even know if the Sailor on the Seas of Fate is even in this.
Well, I think the Sailor on the Seas of Fate is split into two. Yeah, it's in there. It's
Errick of Melniboné, the Fortress of the Pearl. Oh, no, there it is. The Sailor on the Seas of Fate. Yeah. And then the Dreaming City, While the Gods Laugh, and the Singing Citadel, which I can't find anywhere else.
I think some of those novels, those Elric novels, are like split into they're like two separate books, like put together or something. So they're really slim. They're like only 150 pages, but they're really two books.
Okay.
It's weird. Or they're titled as two books. I don't know the publishing history. I think it's complicated.
Yeah, well, I'm just trusting Tim.
While you talk, I'm going to look and see if I have those.
Yeah. Tim's kind of our master of ceremonies that's leading us on this journey.
Yeah, he's pretty knowledgeable about this.
Yeah. Stuff. I'll show you guys some more horror paperbacks while he's looking. Here's Tribe by Barry Wood. With crazy cover with step back art.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you froze.
Oh well, I was. You're welcome. I don't do this for everybody. All right, here. Since we're talking Elric, I'll see if I can find it real quick. My turn to get up.
Yeah, we're getting in the mood for some horror here for the. Oh, that one's not as good. For the awesome interview with Will Errickson coming up on Nick's channel. I love these. Oh, this one gets a little risque. If there's any kids watching. This book is beat up, but it's part of that Peter Saxon. Jake found one recently and is going to send it to me, the first one, which is great. Dreaming City, Levi, Later Skaters. All right. A lot of people commented. Breakfast in the Ruins is a good fun Moorcock podcast if there's any interest in anyone. Hopefully, Levi, you are able to come back and see Nick's interview. Dreaming City While Gods Laugh and Singing Citadel is literally just book 3 separated into chunks. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, and what's the third book called? It's
I'd have to pull something down. I can't remember offhand.
Yeah.
Elric does fight stuff.
Elric does fight stuff.
That's right.
Great title.
This is such a great thing. His title's got a little weak at the end, but there.
Oh yeah.
Here's 4th edition Stormbringer. I have 3rd edition somewhere, but I can't find it.
Weird of the White Wolf.
That's right, and I love that title. And then I think 4th and 5th edition became just Elric.
Nice.
And then I've got some of the. I'm just going to show a couple of the things. We got expansions for that. The Sea Kings of the Purple Towns, which is an awesome cover, by the way. All locations. The Pantang. Sources of the Pantang.
This is all Michael Moorcock?
This is all the RPG for
the RPG.
Yeah, RPG stuff. I got some Young Kingdoms book here. They still got a price tag or something from Dungeon. I don't know where Dungeon was.
All right, I'm gonna go grab my DAW of Stormbringer and see if there's a map.
Stealer of Souls. There you go. Just holding up Elric stuff. And then I think the last one I've got on hand is Rogue Mistress. There you go. So I picked a bunch of those up. I've got the somewhere I have an older edition, one of the hardback ones, and I believe little RPG tidbit. The first written RPG written by a female writer was the Hawkmoon box set from Chaosium. So there you go. There's a little history that I learned myself. And let's see here. Look at the comments. Dogbucks had a map. Oh, the Dogbucks had a map. Okay, right on. I know the map in Stormbringer is like super basic, if I remember right. It's like nothing. Or you know what? It's probably from the box set. Is it fold out? Oh, it's full. I'm not tearing this out.
I'll have to find it later. I can't.
Yeah, I'm not going to tear the map out of this book to show it to me.
The DAWs
try to unfold it.
My DAWs are in order of the number of the DAW book, which makes them very difficult to go through.
It does. It makes sense, but it makes it harder to go through.
Yeah. Hawkmoon RPG is one I'm missing.
I think it's kind of expensive.
Yeah,
it's kind of expensive. I've been tempted by some prices on it before.
I might have mentioned it before, Virgil, but have you ever heard of the Black Sword hack RPG?
It's kind of, yeah, it's like it's part of the Black Hack RPG system, and they just basically did like a like an Elric themed. It's non-branded, of course, but an Elric themed thing. It's actually really. I did think about getting it at one point. I have not picked it up. I kind of was like, I've got so much stuff. Do I need another? Do I need more stuff? And it was. I had a hard time with it, so I haven't bought it. I might get it. You never know. Anything could happen. I make no promises. Brainchild. There you go. Oh, and I did have one. We do have one that's in the book. We have
Coma.
Coma. We've
got medical horror.
Yeah,
is one of the chapters there. Here's Brainchild's step back art.
I also have a copy of, although I doubt it's a first, but Carrying Comfort by Dan Simmons.
Oh yeah.
So we got that.
That's one that we might do eventually in the cult, right?
Yeah, we might do this one. I don't oh, maybe this is. Oh wait. Okay, no, this is not a first print. No, not by a long shot.
I can't believe
I showed this one the other day. This isn't in there, but I did find it because I was looking for this book and I couldn't find it. And I finally did. But this Charles Grant, The Tea Party.
Oh yeah,
which is great. I was looking for this book, couldn't figure out what it was, and somebody had it in their thing. And I'm like, ooh, and I snagged it. That's what I said. I said, ooh.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Charles Grant behind my head. I'm excited to try Charles Grant out.
Levi was talking about a Charles Grant series. I guess we're getting close now.
Yeah,
but he's the Ox.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Something series. He was talking about that, and it sounded really good. I can't remember anything.
Gotta love you horror fans flexing on all of us with your rare ass 80s books. You guys and Nick have all cooler books than me.
I do not have much in the way of stuff like that. I don't have much of the classic paperback stuff. I just don't.
I was lucky that I started hitting yard sales and estate sales again once my teaching career evened out and I had a bunch of time on my hands, and I was like, I want to get into horror again, and I want to get into sci-fi. And so a large chunk of the horror and sci-fi aspects of this library were just 50 cents here, $1, $2, just at yard sales and estate sales. And this came out after I'd been collecting for a while, because this changed everything. This really did, and I'm sure that's a little bit of what Nick will be talking about with Will. This book, I mean, the collecting of horror is completely different now because of this book. But I remember finding this and going, oh, that looks really interesting, and I devoured it in one night. There's so many pictures. I just sat in bed and just read through this, and I've now read it 2 or 3 times. It's really, really wonderfully written, and it made me realize that I didn't know shit about horror. And I've said this a lot. Like, I read like 10 horror writers, you know what I mean? And the amount of stuff that this book taught me was really incredible. Nice.
Ooh, awesome.
Yeah. And I like him. It's weird though, because it's just like science fiction, and it's the same problem that I come up with in science fiction is I don't know which ones are great and which ones are crap, and that's why I think YouTube channels exist, so we can have somebody go do the work of going, no, not that one,
to sift through them for you.
Yeah, because it really is it's very difficult to suss out. But yeah, if you have a copy of this, grab it and head on over to Nick. So what I've done, and it should be working, I have put the link to Nick's live video that's going up in about 11 minutes into the description of this video. So all you have to do is this will end and you'll be able to see the description, and you can click right over to Nick's channel, because I think this is going to be really fun, and I would like for him to start with a ton of viewers. So anybody that has even a passing interest in 80s horror or love it obsessively like like a lot of people like myself do. Yeah, please jump over there to Nick's. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to hear what Will Errickson has to say. I think it's going to be really incredible. But from us, it looks like we're working again. So
yeah, we're good. Right, we're back.
We're back. I'm going to get a hold of Ira, try to reschedule that, and then Infinite Texts, I think, is Infinite Text. I think is who we're going to have after Ira. There's so many people I want to have on this show.
I'm back.
You're back. Welcome back. I am reading currently Elric of Manibene, and I just finished that, so you can expect that coming up. I'm still working through the Willows, so you can expect that coming up. And I'm thinking about. I found a really weird book that I'm gonna read, which is one of these doubles that Richard Rempel and I. Richard from Vintage SF have been kind of obsessed with.
I'll get it with Brian.
Oh, perfect.
Ooh.
That's great. C.L. Moore wrote, of course, a very popular novella called Vintage Season, which I have never read, but a lot of people have said is absolutely incredible. I'm going to be reading this. But this set, this Tor doubles set, I didn't realize this, but in reading the description, most of them are famous science fiction writers choosing famous old science fiction novellas and writing sequels to them.
Oh,
so this is Robert Silverberg writing a sequel to Vintage Season by C.L. Moore called In Another Country. And I've never read Silverberg, so I thought this would be a great way to start. So you can expect that coming up on the channel as well. Virgil, what you got coming up, buddy?
Let's see. I've got a review for Pandora's Star coming up. I read a shorter story by Lucius Shepard called Only Partly There, which is about like, I think it's supernatural. I'm not sure about the 9/11 site and cleanup of that site. It actually sounded unusual, but ended up being like really well written. So good. Still, I'm going through Murakami. And I'm reading The Man Who Melted by Jack Dan, which is in a stack that I don't know that I want to. I guess I can.
Great title.
Yeah, it looks very good, and I'm about halfway through, and it's good. We're gonna I'm withholding verdict because it's doing some stranger stuff, and I want to see how it pans out before I kind of say one thing or another.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
So, yep, go check out Virgil's site, Literally Books. It's fantastic. Subscribe while you're over there. And if you're one of my new subscribers, thank you so much for joining. And now let's all go over to Nick. Yeah, watch Will Errickson and Nick.
That's why I clipped out. I was starting to go over there too soon. Okay.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you next time.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.